Hitchin. Mark, good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning, Nigel. Well, Nigel, I trust this government as far as I could throw it. Would you agree with me, Nigel, that, say, for example, a bus driver should wear a PPE mask?
Yes.
You do, right. OK, so unfortunately, you might have heard that there was 8 pieces of guidance that was written by the government. 9, including the education. Every single one of them recommends you don't wear PPE, be you a bus driver, be you a shop worker, be you a teacher. And that sort of links to what you said before. But why should we really not trust this government? Because it's been lying. On Friday, what did Matt Hancock say in front of that podium? We shielded the elderly. Well,
I couldn't believe it. Mark, I couldn't. I was at the point of just wanted to scream. I agree with you. I agree with you.
But it was lying. It's because their initial guidance said there was little risk in the care homes. The next guidance said you can actually send people back to care homes, even if they're showing symptoms, and even if they had not been tested or had a negative test.
Yeah. And Mark, we had the warning. We'd seen some of the disasters that were happening in elderly people's care homes in Spain, in Italy, in France. We had a 2-week warning on this, and you're quite right. I mean, you know, the case that I quoted last week, the one that I personally have been told about from a good source, that the patient was that the individual had gone into hospital for an unrelated reason. During their time in hospital, had tested positive for COVID-19, was sent back to the care home, and only an hour or two after they'd returned back at the care home did the NHS tell them this patient had tested positive. It's unbelievable, isn't it?
Nigel, it's unbelievable. But here's even more something that's unbelievable. On February the 10th, one of the SAGE working groups wrote, and I'm repeating it verbatim, there is a realistic probability that there is already a sustained transmission in the UK. That was a SAGE group. The document's publicly available. It's one of the very few that's being published. The 10th of February, and we acted on the 23rd. You've got Boris standing in front of Keir Starmer saying, what you've just said about what it says in that document isn't true. And if you read his rebuttal letter, he quotes the same document.
I know. Well, all I can say, Mark, is that Prime Minister's questions this week will be eagerly anticipated. So, in short, Mark, your feeling is they're just not telling us the truth.
What's happened here is Boris acted far too late. We've known since the medieval time, when we had the plague, we had a thing which was the equivalent of test, isolate, track and trace. The test was the plague doctor who used to wear an outfit called which was his PPE, which had a beak on the front.
I know.
So he used to go there, test you, say, you've got it. He'd isolate you, and then he'd isolate anybody who'd been in contact with you. Now, we've known that for, hundreds of years, and what has Boris said? Boris has said, well, we're only learning now. Absolute rubbish.
Keep washing your hands, Mark. Keep washing your hands. It'll all be okay. Mark, thank you for your opinion.